Wow, it has been a crazy start to 2026, but here we are, the Puff Drink Talk podcast. Conrad here.
Hilton.
And George.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen?
Okay, I can say what's going on.
What's going on? I can say it too.
So many angles from what I see. I can say a lot of things. I don't want to say a lot of things.
Well,
Honestly, when was the last podcast that we've been able to sit down and talk and smoke?
Like once this year. It's the
Yeah,
second time.
yeah.
And we are not even full core.
yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And we did one crossover, which is going to be uploaded soon.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, with Loose Cannons podcast. But yes, I mean,
Shout
a lot
out to
of things.
Beck and Charlie. You know,
yeah,
like who
Charles and
Becky. They hosted me.
Oh, how
So
nice.
us, right? Because it was
Well,
a it was a co-podcasting, right?
Yeah,
it was
so
pretty
cool.
good.
Yeah. The format of the Loose Cannons also is changing a little bit, which is kind of interesting, but we don't have to go into that because it's a different podcast. But I have been actually working really hard to get things done, you know, not only in the business, but also in the podcast. And I created a tool using AI. So now you don't have to develop anymore, gentlemen and ladies. You can just talk to the computer, and even like if you have like a plug-in kind of thing, or you just click on the mic and then you talk to it. You don't even need to type it in.
Dumb this down for me. Do you have to have any computer software engineering, software coding skills?
You have to know how to use a mouse and download stuff from the internet, and kind of know a little bit what some of the things are. Like if it tells you like, hey, I mean, not even that you'd need, because if you go like, what is it's gonna say like, open a terminal and then run this code and this command. And if you go like, what is a terminal? Where do I find it? It's gonna tell you how to find it in your own computer.
So basically, you are having your own personal professor teach you how to code.
Yeah.
Your own coding guru sitting right next to you, holding your hand, telling you what to do.
Yeah. So, and I was having, problems with the tool that had a limit, right? It was like a 5-hour limit. And then for our podcast, it was fine because we do about an hour and 20 minutes, but we break it down to different videos because we have the cigar review, we have the sports session and whatnot. And then it comes down to like, 45 minutes. And then another video is 20 minutes, and then the other video is about 15, 20 minutes, or even less, 12. So 4 weeks, it's about 5 hours, and it was like $10 a month, right? You give it a video, and what it does, it creates the title and the description for you. And then, because if not, when I go, I have to watch the whole podcast and take notes to figure it out, to be able to give it to an AI tool to create like a catchy description or title to a podcast. And but that tool was like, okay, let me upgrade, and then including the other podcast, Loose Cannons. And then I was like, I was using the tool, and then I was getting like 2 videos only because and I mean, I would run out of credit so quickly, like 2 weeks. I would have 2 weeks worth of content, but the other 2 weeks of the month, I didn't have anything.
Right.
And then I was like, let me go and upgrade, to a unlimited, which would cost like $20 a month. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. The thing is, the tool was not giving me the option, and then I had to email them, and then they were like, yeah, just go to this link, or I can do it for you. And then, but I had canceled it because, like, why am I paying it? And they're like, well, you canceled the payment plan, so I can't mend anything. Just go and try. And then my sister was visiting here, and then she said, why don't you use this AI that will code for you? I was like, okay, let me have a look at it. And then it took me a while. It took me a month to actually sit down and do that thing. and it took me about 4 hours. 4 hours to get the tool working, where I give it a video or an audio file, and then I decided to always give it like an audio file because it's much smaller, so it does faster. And then I had to create like a open an AI account and the Anthropophy or whatever it's called, the name of the thing, I forgot already. I had to create it, account with these two to be able to get the software working, right? To do the transcribe and stuff. So I put in $10 credit at OpenAI and $10 credit at the cloud AI. So, and then after all, like testing it and had to make like calls to the API, to try and run the transcript and everything else. And then the transcript was coming, it came down to like multi-language, instead of like transcripting, was like, translating it. You know what I mean? It was like multiple languages. And then the description that it created was like, language is a beautiful thing, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, that's not what we talked about. And then I said, like, look, and then the thing said, like, just give me like a short audio to do, right? So that you don't spend a lot of money. Because I complained, so I'm like, hey, I did all that, and then, so I already spent like 33 cents.
Right.
It's nothing, right? 33 cents. But I didn't want to keep on doing tests until I run out of $10, because that could potentially happen, right?
Right.
If they don't get it right. So, and then I went in and said, like, can you save me money and not do that? And they're like, okay, let's do one thing then. So let's do a very cheap, like, do a very short video.
And again, this is you communicating to the AI.
Yeah, I'm just like typing in.
Right.
On
hey,
my
I don't want to
computer.
spend money
Yeah.
on all of these tests.
Yeah.
And it came back, well, why don't we do this option? Okay.
And then I typed in what the audio said, and I put the audio in, and then it figured out why and what was going on. So, and then now the tool is working, and then it came back, and then I ran the video again, like the bigger 1 hour podcast again, and which was the crossover podcast. That I'm gonna upload. Now it's already uploaded.
Just waiting to get published.
And then I was like, okay, but the description wasn't quite nice. It did not have the timestamps and blah blah blah. And then I was like, man, it would be nice if I had the timestamps and everything else. And it's like, okay, so I know what to ask. So do it again, and then I know what to ask. Now to OpenAI to get all that, because and it actually explains what they do. It's like they do it this way, and that's why this is happening and whatnot. So I did it, and then it came out perfect, like perfect,
insane.
And then in the end, to do that one video, because I had to do all the testing stuff as I was developing the tool, it cost me like $1.08. And now to do the title and transcription, first I have no limit, right?
Yeah.
1 hour of video would cost about 34 cents. It's ridiculous. You know
Pennies
what I mean?
on the dollar.
Yeah. And then, so if you count before 5 hours or $10 was like $2 an hour, and now that's drastically reduced to 33 cents.
Yeah.
And then no limit, because what I created too, and I said, like, I don't want to have a limit. The AI has a little limitations, like they only do like 25 megabytes per session. So what they do, it gets the audio, compacts it to send it. So a 5 gigabytes file video, it compiles to about 100 megabytes. 100 and something megabytes, and then it was like it did in 5, and then like, no, it's fine, because I'll do like 5 batches, and then I'll just keep everything in memory, and then I'll do it.
Right.
It's incredible. It does all the things.
So total time for you to test,
to develop
retest,
the thing,
develop everything.
It was about 4 hours on Thursday and another 2 hours on Friday.
So 6 hours.
Yeah.
And typically, for you to upload a Loose Cannons, a Puff Drink Talk podcast video onto YouTube, How long would that take you?
No, the upload itself. I mean, editing. I edit
Editing, yes.
editing. I take it. I do it quite fast now because we have a structure. So I just go in and cut beginning end, and I don't. We don't cut anything, right?
Right.
On our conversation here.
Correct.
So we just upload as is. I just do the audio filtering and whatnot to be able to remove the air, sounds in the background and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Hilton,
yeah.
let's just make sure that we chronologically explain exactly what you're saying, because one thing was before you start using the tool inside YouTube, right? Because before, when you started the podcast, it was it was a handful, wasn't it? Like it was you
And that's what I'm trying to
somewhat-
get at
yeah.
is
But I think
what time and
you
money
thought
is
about
saved.
a minute, like 2 months ago versus now.
Right.
And he's already working with his workload is way lower, but
Yeah.
compared to 3 years ago.
Well, before we would have one full video, and we did not have a lot of structure on the podcast. Like we
Right.
would do like the cigar review. We would do a lot of things, kind of in the middle, and then I had to watch the whole video to find the sections, cut it off to create the individual videos. And then now we have a specific moment that we do a transition to the review, and then we have a transition again to do the podcast, and I just cut those out, right? And then when I'm editing the review, I just cut the podcast out. It's kind of simple and easy. I don't stop I could even like stop the videos and not even have to do that. But then it's like too many videos, and then I could forget one or two. So like just keep them all in the same one raw file, and that's it. So before it would take me 6 to 7 hours to get the podcast videos edited, and then now it takes me about an hour or so, an hour and a half. If we're doing like the sports session, like we're talking about football or Formula One or whatever, and then yes, I would have like 1.5 hours. If not, 1 hour I have the videos already edited.
Amazing.
So and with the descriptions, I would go like, hey, can anybody take notes? And then we had you guys helping and Dylan helping also. It's like, no, I'll do the description because I remember what we're talking about, and went to ChatGPT, and then he did the description for us and whatnot. But then also there was slowing the uploads down because Dylan's busy. He's the bottleneck of the company, right? So if I keep giving him something else, like not even giving him, like asking him to do something else that's not company related, it becomes a bottleneck. So
Well, and even at that, you were reaching out to me for like when I was doing my Conrad's News segment. And like I got to a point where I was writing and typing everything down just so that I would have a memory, because I knew on cue Hilton was going to ask me for descriptions about what we talked about, and I had to give you that description.
Yeah. So now we don't need that anymore. We can talk about whatever we want, and then the tool that I created with the AI will do that for us.
Amazing.
So, and it's not expensive at all, man. It's like I think in order to spend $10, we would have to have like 8 hours or even more, like 10 hours podcast kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
To spend that kind of money.
You know what's really interesting, Hilton, you talking about this, is I was thinking about, obviously when my kids were growing up, we would watch YouTube videos of like different families that had YouTube channels where the kids would play games or family interactions. And there's one channel that we would always watch called Funnel Vision. I don't know if you guys have seen them before.
Not sure.
It's like a family of 5 or 6 kids and the parents, and they just do family activities, play games, birthday parties, whatnot. And I remember when they started getting really famous and going to a lot of like toy conventions, and their YouTube channel really started growing. The dad was like, listen, I have been editing these videos, and like YouTube content has been my full-time job for years now. He's like, we've gotten so big to a point where I have to hire a production team. So he had a production team, and he was given like a tour of the studio with all the employees. And I mean, he had like 10 to 20 employees working the description, video editing, graphics, video, in video art, if somebody says boom, there was an explosion in the video type of thing. And I wonder if any of these AI tools are completely replacing those positions, where basically maybe half of those positions
It's not quite
not
yet.
needed.
It's not quite yet, but it will be very soon. And when I say very soon, it could be like 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We never know the speed that AI is developing.
Well, and speaking of the CEO of Anthropic, I don't know how to say the name of that company.
I'll find out.
He publicly stated within the next 6 months, white collar jobs are going to be, or like 80 to 90% of white collar jobs are going to be non-existent or not needed, because AI is going to replace.
Yeah, in
huge
6
majority
months'
of
time, 10% of jobs will be gone.
Yeah. Well,
This is a much broader conversation, I would say, because we start talking about like how
Anthropic.
Anthropic. Yeah, like we start talking about the let's say daily helpful, useful applications of AI, right? And then when it comes to the jobs, it's a completely conversation. And I wrote a lot of things while you guys are speaking here, because I don't know where we'll go with this conversation, because there's so much in here.
yeah.
Right?
He's got the tabs open. He got the tabs open.
Yeah. It's like, the can of worms were opened.
But I think this is interesting for the simple fact of how AI has drastically improved Hilton's life and the lives of the people on this podcast for a simple task: video editing, or description.
I'm not doing video editing in that yet.
Right.
But eventually, yes.
But eventually, you can do
Yeah.
video editing from an AI software.
Yes.
This is my point: is that
I can write the software for.
right,
Instead of purchasing a software.
right, or hiring someone to do it.
So I would say I would start with my number 2 here. One thing that is going to help us now that we have a small businesses, right? And for you too, like even working for a company, is the better you know your process, the better you know how to describe. Because you see,
Yes.
like I wrote it here. I just asked. We are using Google Workspace, so I have the Ultra Google and everything, which is a different level of AI. The first time I've had this, and I just asked him like, what should we teach kids in the age of AI? That's what I asked, and I say I'm gonna give you examples, because I always use some examples, right? I say, should it be architects? Should it be thinkers? Should it learn how to speak the language of machines? And then I said, I'm going to call machines the following group. And then I put robotics, androids, machine learnings and everything. While we were here, I asked. And then it kind of course, my answer, my input kind of guides, what he's going to say,
Right.
But he went way beyond where he explored my thoughts. So I had my thoughts. I gave my thoughts. I gave my examples, and then it explored in depth. I asked to go in depth on that, so he just complimented what I say. So one thing is like he says about, okay, I'm gonna call you machine, but you can call whatever you want to call you. That's what I just said here. What do you want to call you? What do you want to call all this group? No, machine is fine. So he assumed that all these things are machine, not only AI itself, but all.
Yeah.
And then he says, one of the most important things is to become machine fluent. So you gotta understand that when you look at this, Hilton, can you pass me your cup, please? Look at that. I only gave one very simple command, and because you do the synapses, because of all the cognition you have it, you assumed which cup I was talking about. You assume. You didn't have to explain to me. I didn't have to ask you with which hand you would pass me. That you have to put the cup in my hand. Notice that a lot of things was implicit here.
Yeah.
That it didn't
Yes.
happen, right? So when you speak with the machine, you can't do that. You have to say, please use your left machine, your left hand, and make sure that this is the angle. You don't, like you're gonna codify that and give it to George, which is the person next to you on your left at angle. So there are many types of much information, a lot of information that you have to provide so the machine understands. What happens is the machine is getting more and more intelligent, and as they're getting more intelligent, you need to be fluent in that. So if I have to say to a kid, learn, like teach your kids or put your kids in a place in which they learn how to be fluent. Like we do that. We do that with English. We do that with Portuguese. We do that with languages. And in computing, in coding, you also have different types of languages, right? And so the more they learn the language, so if you have to do a business with someone in Portuguese, English, and in Spanish, you will deliver that. But if you had to do that with someone who only speak French, you would suffer. You would work it out, but it would be, the cybernetics of things, or how clean the information is, it's going to take way longer. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, because you don't know if whatever translation is doing with whatever you said is going across the right way.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I say cybernetics is this, cybernetics, actually, we think cybernetics is spatial or computer. No, cybernetics, it's how clean information is.
Yeah.
So, for example, when I'm here, when I'm speaking, there are many barriers here. For example, the words that I thought, can I put that in words? Can I put that in words in English? Look, from the brain to the voice, is my voice, is my microphone working properly? Is it gonna working properly? Look, there's a lot of barriers.
Is your
in the
tone
middle.
coming off aggressive?
Exactly.
Or inquisitive?
How does it change the outcome from the person who listens about the traumas the person? So cybernetics is how clean the information is. There's so many elements from here to here. Maybe the air conditioning, the air here is too loud. Then you can't listen to me. You're gonna misinterpret or mishear what I say. So there's so many things happening. So I think that when we become better, more fluent in machinery, in machining, in machine AI, whatever. I don't know the language. I think it's going to be more natural. We learn how they think, and actually, to be honest, it's influencing the way that I actually speak. So this new feature on Google Workspace records my meetings with my team, and then you already have. So it transcribes it, right? It creates a transcript. Then it summarizes it and sends to the email of everyone participating in the meeting, right away. And also you have an extra prompt in which you say, okay, tell each person which their actions are. But this is only work what they call what they call GIGO. I don't know if it's Geigo or Gigo, probably Gigo. How would you say this? Gigo, right? Which is garbage in, garbage out. So the quality of information you put in during the meeting and how you organize it during the meeting, that's how the summary is going to happen. So I already think about it. Before the meeting, I already have my organization because I wanted the AI to summarize in the order that I want it to be summarized. So, I think the language, the fluency, it's one thing. The second thing is like teaching kids to be thinkers. To be, to learn how to ask specific questions, to organize it, learning the process, learning incisive questions. That's what I put it here. And they will be more architects. They will be more language architects, right? So never language. So we thought language was, now actually language is became one of them. Oh no, with the advent of AI, then language is going to be obsolete because the AI is going to translate. Now we have to learn how to speak AIs or whatever. Anyway, so just to throw some topics here.
Yeah, we have like AI and HI now, which is artificial intelligence and human intelligence, right?
Yeah.
There's a clear division now. Mm-hmm. So we got to do the cigar review.
We forgot
about the cigar review. Come on, let's get into it.
Let's do the cigar review.
We will be back.
Well, you're not even going to notice that we went because they're going to be back in about a millisecond.
The AI is going to splice this up, put us back together.
See, we are back. We did the cigar review, and we are back. We are back to the conversation.
It's
The
so
AI
fast.
took over.
So AI, HI.
Guys, let me tell you one thing before we move. I don't know. I don't know
Where
if
you
it's
moving
because
to?
like if you
Well,
can keep.
if you are
talking-
moving,
yeah.
if you are moving, and
Yeah.
then we have to use robotics now
Yeah,
to
we
move
do,
our
yeah,
furniture for us, right?
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm gonna get fatter. I'm gonna get fatter because like it's everything is so
we got more
convenient
time.
now.
We got
Look,
more time to go to the gym.
I hope so.
And
yeah,
play
I found it.
unpredictable racquetball.
Can AI also help me motivate? Like really motivate me? Because like motivate is more like an internal process. Like incentive is more like out to in, but motivate. So can it make me feel more motivated? Is it possible?
Have you ever seen the movie Wall-E? It's a
Yeah.
Disney movie, Pixar movie.
One of my top 20.
100%. One of my all-time favorite movies. And I just hope that we eventually don't get to that spot in life where we're just laying down in floating chairs, just letting AI and robotics
Why not? That would be
just
lovely.
You mean at the end, like where you figure out where humans are?
Yeah. And then it's like the AI.
I don't want to spoil it because maybe someone hasn't watched it. So.
Watch that movie. It's genuinely a good movie.
Yeah, Wall-E is old movie now, but
But it still holds.
There is a lot of because it's the talk of the moment, right?
Yeah.
And it's like that vision that somebody when wrote that movie had, back then. So when is Wall-E from? What year was Wall-E done?
The early 2000s. I remember.
Maybe
that.
even from the past century. It's right there, right? Like remember the movie AI? Do you remember a movie AI? It's called AI
With
Artificial
Will Smith?
Intelligence. No, with
No, that's iRobot.
iRobot. Yeah.
it's Juddy Law. With Juddy Law.
I don't remember.
I don't
Okay,
remember.
that's movies from
2008.
2001.
2008.
Yeah,
is
Wall-E
2000,
came
yeah.
out in
So
2008.
just write it down there. Artificial intelligence AI with Juddy Law, 2001. I hope I'm right,
spell
or my memory sucks. Movie, yeah.
Movie.
Just put the actor's name. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be there. Yeah, but it's not that. Yeah, how?
Yeah, 2001. It says.
Yeah, over there.
Oh, okay. I remember this movie.
Yeah, I was right? 2001.
2001.
Okay, not bad. That one. This boy was super famous because of the. I see that people.
Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
I saw this movie in theater. Now that I remember it,
Yeah.
and I walked out going, "God, I was so disappointed."
Why? What do you
Because
expect?
I thought there was going to be something more to it.
Really, I just love how humane the artificial intelligence is. Like what they do in order to survive. Like the message, hey, if you are gonna build this thing, don't forget, if they get a survival instinct, we are fucked.
Right.
Like we are fucked because then they will figure it out.
And
right?
I
Is
think
that
that
the
was
one
my
that
point.
that's? I mean, it could be. It's 2001. Come
He's
on.
a heater. I mean, the movie
Is the one that it decides who to? No, that's the iRobot. It decides who to save.
In the car crash?
In the car crash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
iRobot.
Yeah. But it's still interesting. But the movie Artificial Intelligence was in 2001.
I think I need to rewatch it as an adult because
And-
I watched
and
that as
now,
a
yeah.
kid or a young adult, an adolescent,
Yeah.
a teenager, and I was like, "What the fuck? I spent $20 on a movie ticket for this piece of shit. I want to see some death and destruction, his body blowing up."
Explosion.
Yeah, and I'm just
Do you know why?
child
Because
robot
you-
just going, "I love you."
Because you still have the reference in your brain, which
Yes.
is Terminator.
Well, 100%.
Like you.
I'd
you-
rather
you-
see a Terminator than an AI.
Yeah,
at
but-
that age,
But yeah, the anchor was Terminator, and then of course look. Yeah, we have more coffee here, man. We have the second round of the coffee, right? So
I'm on round 3.
we-
I love this coffee.
yeah, I figured, but isn't that wasn't sitting because hey, are you bringing coffee? And I was like, today I'm gonna bring 2. Like I was, yeah. So just,
Well, I knew Hilton has the coffee maker machine in the front, but I was like, I don't know if I need to go stop at QT
No.
and just grab like some basic shitty gas station. Well, QT
why are you
actually
gonna
has-
do that if you
And
have George?
I have one with pods in here also. I have the
That's right.
the pour
Amen.
over there and the on pods.
Have you ever been to QT and seen their cold coffee draft?
Yeah. Because I only put gas,
At QT?
QT. Yeah, because of the discounts. It's near my place.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's been always good to me. Like 25 cents, 20 cents discount.
Yeah.
every time, and it's just practical. It's on my way here. It's where Abana is, where my
Yeah.
favorite Indian restaurant is too. So
Yeah.
it's so many things at the same time,
Yeah.
right? So it's pretty good.
Yeah, but AI is interesting, man. The way it is helping, me, writing these tools and stuff. So trying to answer George's question, what's helped with the podcast and the business. So with the podcast now, the title and description is done much easier, and I could eventually also create a module after it picks it up. I can select which title, because also it creates 3 titles because I ask for it, and then I can select which title to use, and then the description with the timestamps and the chapters and whatnot, and also upload directly to YouTube, because the tool would do that also.
And it costs 33 cents.
Yes.
Is that the price for water that these data centers are pulling all the information and doing, or is that just the flat cost?
I don't know. I mean, they're making money,
Yeah.
right? And as I'm using the API, so many people in the world using the API that they wrote. So I think it pays off. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I was just being facetious because a lot of these data centers are just like sucking water out of everything because it demands a lot of energy. It demands a lot of water to cool everything down. So,
Buddies, I have a confession here.
Okay.
I have to admit, in record, right, that I am absolutely ignorant to almost everything that is happening in this rush to AI. There's so many. We need someone who's a little bit less, not much, Richard, because I think when you compare what you know, and Richard, what you know and what I know, it's a big difference. But compared to what the world knows, right? So I understand when he came here and said, and I just know a little bit more. I am a 2%. You're not protected. I'm 2% protected. Like over 100. Yeah, over 100. He said so. He just told us this. So I confess my ignorance about that. We need a guy like him telling us a little bit more about that in a future podcast. But man, I don't know what kind of.
Richard said 10% of the jobs every single 6 months are going to be gone from now on.
Right.
That's what he said last Tuesday.
Okay, so but it's interesting, Don't Look Up, like the movie Don't Look Up, and all the other movies in which we are unaware of the information. Things are already happening, so we just don't know the things are already happening because you always believe that, oh no, yeah, I know, I first start that day. No, actually, that started for you that day. But the internet. I think the first time they tried it was 1969.
Yeah.
The first time. So it's, they
comes
knew.
to the public,
So think about that. If
20
they
years
knew,
later.
think
Yeah.
about that. If they knew about the internet in 1969 or even before, because if they applied that, let's say they're thinking about the internet in 1960, I actually only have real access in 2000, in the year 2000. I could access, but it wasn't ubiquitous.
It wasn't trivial.
It wasn't
kinda-
ubiquitous. It's
Right.
ubiquitous, right? So I think I feel the internet like I feel the light. Like I feel lights. It's everywhere I go with your phone, your computer, internet, right? So if they knew that 40 years, listen to this. If they knew that 40 years before it became a thing,
30 years.
no, 90, no, but
60. Okay, so you
Yeah,
you mean
because
that
they
when they
planned that-
started programming the internet.
yes, exactly,
10 years
or
earlier.
just creating the concepts of that. So if
Yeah,
they
yeah,
knew
yeah.
that, it took 40 years. In 1960, in the 1960s, you got to understand that things went much slower from 1960 to 2000. Now
Yeah.
things move way faster. So what do they know now, or 5 years ago, or as you were saying about the movie in 2001, they're already having movies about that. What do they know 40 years ago that only now is becoming ubiquitous? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
the 1960 to 2000 is the time it took to become ubiquitous. At least now, because you see, I'm being here. I'm not being partial because I had access to that, but still 90% of the world didn't have access to that because I was top
No.
10, right? So now with the internet is becoming more ubiquitous. So it's 60 years. So the same thing we have to think about the AI. What do they know? The projections, the millions and billions of projections that their AIs are creating. Because if you have access to everything we're doing, let alone a billionaire, what do they know 10 years ago? Because that's what I want to know. They know something. So their moves 10 years ago, 5 years ago, sometimes it doesn't make sense to us, but they are positioning themselves for what comes next, So I think the unknown, what I think about the internet, the AI is the unknown, like to be a pawn, like in this process. Yeah, you and I, let's use it. It's gonna make my life easier, but it controls me in the future, or it kills me in the future. At the same time, now like it's just data. Here the Ultra the Ultra Gemini here. He talks about the whole time, many times it says collaborators. That's what they talk the whole time. So the machine is speaking with me about collaboration. I didn't mention collaboration. It says collaboration several times. So where is it going? Where is it going? How much do I know?
Well,
How
it's
much?
trying to tell you that, hey, I'm just a tool. Don't be afraid of me.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's what it's the whole language and say, right? So he says, hey, George, but don't forget, if you speak with a kid, just say the output depends entirely. I wrote the sentence, okay? The output depends entirely on the clarity of human input. Data in trash, output is trash. Then the Gigo is
Gigo.
the Gigo you mentioned, right? And then the next one, you know what it says? Teach your kids to become detectives, to ask incisive questions and teach them how to know, So that's my question. The whole thing to get here, to get a segue, to ask you the following questions: how are you going to teach your kids, and when are you going to teach your kids to navigate and to live in a world, in an era of the AI?
One observation that I will say is that how we always live in different ages, the Bronze Age, Age of Technology. I really feel like if you were to encapsulate and put a title to the current age that we're living in, I think we're moving away from the age of technology and technological advancement and moving into the age of curiosity. To the point where, like you said, you now have to become a detective and clarify your thoughts explicitly to the AI to get the output that you want, right? That is also a deeper dive into the human psyche of the simple example of, can you pass me that cup, right?
Yes.
We explicitly give a simple command, 3, 4, 5 words, and expect a human output to what we're asking. In order for us to explicitly ask the same output of an AI or robotic model, we are going to have to, with your left hand, apply 1.5 pounds of pressure to pick up, to grasp the cup, and then bring it over to me at a 45-degree angle and place it in my hand. Once it's in my hand, you are going to release your fingers and then move your arm back into its original reset position.
I think the programming is like that, Conrad. But I think the instruction, there's a lot of intelligence already built in that if it figures it out by the materials, because if you put the physics on, the ceramic, like this one is a ceramic cup, this other one is a glass cup. So, do you know what I mean? It's like identifying visually, because also they will have cameras, right?
That is true. Yeah.
To identify. There's a lot of implicit, because, for example, with programming, the software that I did, I literally said it like this: I would like a tool so that I can give it a video, so that I can have a title and a description done for me, and it built the tool already. You know what I mean? It's like I did not have to say this video, and actually gave me normally a video on MP4 file. It's compressed because this and that, blah, blah. It gave me all the technical details. One thing that I've been seeing a lot is what I can see that's being pushed to me. It's the next generation kids are going to be dumber than the past generation for the first time in life, because as George was saying, if back then very intelligent people, because they were creating all these things to make us dumber now. Do you know what I mean? And now they're saying that this next generation, now our kids, they're going to be dumber than us, just because everything is so easy, so that you don't really have to learn anything. So I don't know how, because that goes in what we were saying. Like, if you try to give every single instruction, so the AI is already prepared, and that's why he's talking about trash in and trash out. Mm-hmm. It's just like you gotta teach your kids to be smarter. You know what I mean?
Right.
One thing that, because I'm gonna say that from the few experiences I have with kids, like most of my clients, right, are from 14 to 18. So this is just about my experience. Of course, I noticed that the gap between the well-educated kids from the rest is widening.
Yeah.
Like this kids, like we have in the 14 Wolves, which is my company, right? What we have in the very first meetings, they have to understand what I call the spirit of the forest. I know it sounds like mystic, but it's not.
Or it's Avatar. Avatar.
I didn't think. I just thought about the way you should navigate in this ecosystem. Listen how to read the nature, how it progresses, how the movements of the nature, and I say that the tasks are the same. You get the movements, you get how it moves. So I asked them to create this, and then of course we just say there are things that you have to learn. It's how to speak with the machines, how to calculate. Like math. The math will help you keep you developing different to find solutions. So I would say keep your kids on the STEM, right? Kids on the STEM. Keep them on that area if you can, and then later, once you have the basis, have the basis on the thinking process, the architecturing process. Once you learn how to speak, you're fluent on that, then you can choose to be more specific. I'm going to work in biology. I'm going to work in computing. I'm going to work in education. I'm going to work,
they can branch it out to whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in a way, I will tell you that it reminds me the education process in the 1600s, in which a kid would have to learn 3 musical instruments, 4 languages, like in a super education process. Latin, Greek, and everything in the 1900s and in the year now in the beginning of 2000s. I think if you learn this set of topics or branches of education, which I didn't have access to that, coming from where I came, but I can see the contrast now of what things happened to me and didn't happen and why it happens to those kids. Buddy, they know at the age of 14, 15, they already know the body needs to rest. I never thought I could rest when I was at this age, when I was playing.
Yeah, me too. I was like, no, I'll just keep on. Even 30 years old, I was like, I'm playing squash in England.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no, I want to play, I would do a championship on a Friday.
Yes.
I would play for 4 hours. No.
So there is a debate.
So the guys know that what I
Exactly,
did not know at 30.
because we are Generation X, right? So we have this idea that basketball the players should always play 82 games. They shouldn't load manage. We believe that, and it happened to me. Like for years, I didn't run because I thought if I have to run 10 kilometers or 5 kilometers, I have to run without stop. If I stop, I'm a loser. So I wouldn't train. And then the coach says, no, George. Like you start slow, you walk, you vary. Okay, you try until you get to the place. And also yesterday we went to this stand-up comedy with a friend, with Amiris' friends, and then this guy is all into meditation. Spent 10 days without speaking, like amazing experience. And then I said, I had the same thought. I always thought that meditation was the full absence of thoughts. For me, meditation is like the full absence of thoughts. And then I said, you know what? I gave up because I can never get there. Why? Because I thought that, and then he said, no, George, meditation. This is the highest level. After 30 years, you want to get there, but there's so many things before. And then he started asking me questions. You see, you meditated. Oh, you see that thing you said about the shower, the water, that's meditation. And then I realized that I have this feeling that if I have to do something, I have to do perfectly the first time. And then if it's not perfect, I don't do it.
I'm the same way.
So you see that, so it's about us. That's exactly what, and then I don't think this is what's going to happen in the future, But my whole point is that the kids, they are learning that, and they know the kids. Now I remember, I lost my thought of thought. But I learned. So these kids, they know they have to rest. They know they have to rest. They have Mamba mentality courses, boot camps. They have it physically. They train. They have a physiotherapist every week. They do preventive physio. So I said, man, how could I compete knowing that my mom was making $40 a month? Yeah. $50 a month. How can you compete with someone who knows all of that? So one of the kids, there's top 30 in Brazil. Okay, top 30 under 18. He went to Jamaica to play. And he said, man, I met this guy's 14, 15-year-old. I can't play. I can't play against them. They're too good. He's 17. They're too good. I mean, I couldn't see the ball. I couldn't keep the pace. And they say, why? Oh. And then he starts telling you. And then there are levels and levels for this. This guy has everything I told you, right? This guy here, he does sauna at the age of 15. He does sauna. His father plays tennis. During the pandemic, the father goes there and build the whole fucking court inside their property so they can play. So do you understand the levels and levels and levels for these things?
Oh,
yeah.
So I think getting back to that, if the kids who understand this process of being an architect, being a thinker, being a detective, learning how to navigate and survive with this language, I think they are the ones who are going to survive. That they are the ones who are going to survive this. I don't know how we're going to call that, but
the end
massacre.
Of the day is access, right, to the
job
information.
massacre.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The other thing is the access of information. That's what you're talking about. It's like
Yes.
That kid has access, to more information, to more training, to more this and that. So it's naturally supposed to every single generation to be smarter than the previous one, because the previous generation is processing information and coming out with new knowledge, putting out there in the world, and that's being curated and whatnot, so that the future generations already have that sort of curated and done. All they have to do is to learn the thing.
And I feel like that is one of the biggest differences between our generation and this new generation. George, when you were talking, I suffer from that as well, where I'll try something and I've seen other people do it and be the absolute best, and then it infuriates me that I can't be just like them. So then I kind of start self-doubt, and then I give up. Because it's like, well, why can't I go?
Unless you do it as a hobby, right?
Exactly. Where it's like, if I give, pure enjoyment out of it, but like the meditation example of like, why can't I be, no thoughts, peak meditation? How come I can't do that right now? So I'll try it. Oh, I got 1 minute with no thoughts, but that's not 10 days, so I give up. And I feel like a lot of this newer generation, now that they have the access and the information of like, no, it's a process. Everything is now a process, and there's a class for it. Now you have access to this information where you can.
But why are people saying that these new generations are going to be dumber than ours?
Because I feel like it's more academic wise.
Because if there is more information in the world, they should be able to learn, encapsulate that, and then come out with the result. Human brains are an amazing thing that it can figure it out stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I think we're just going to be lazier in certain aspects. I think kids are going to be lazier in things that we had to do, and we had to do over and over and over again because that was how our parents taught us, or that was how the school taught us. And now that it's easier for them to solve and figure out, they're just like, yeah, I already done it. I'm going to move on to the next thing. It's like, but did you actually get it? Do you actually fully understand what you're doing?
Yeah.
Can I? It's not.
Yes, you can.
It's not a disagreement. It's just an invitation for us to think about it. Okay. There's a lot of golden age bias and recency bias all the time. Like new generations believe what's new is better. Old generation think that what's old is better, right? Yeah. So we are.
That has always been like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not. So probably the tribes in 1492 were doing the same, and even before, right?
Back in my day, I had to walk up a hill in the snow both ways.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So the debate is always going to be there, because of my age. What I try to do, I always try to do the controversy. I always try to think how the new generation, what do they think about us? Because, man, do you believe that 1 billion, all the kids are wrong? They're not all wrong. There are a lot of things that are true. We get old, we get complacent, we do, so I always try to do, I
see where you're going with this. I agree with you, actually.
Am I being... Okay,
I agree completely, George.
Look, again, it's just that, I have to... Because that's my tendency, to listen to my so I look up to older people, and then I think about, what they thought. They thought that I was actually wrong. So how do I feel about my kids about that? So I would just think about that, okay? I would just think about that. The second thing is something you said, like, wow, I always have to be perfect. Like,
yeah.
How much are we checking our kids to know if they are the same? Because it's good because it makes you who you are. Like for most of the things it's going to be great. But how much trauma and how many great things you left because you thought that way too. Yeah. So maybe you can make your kids maybe your job as parents, my job as an educator is to make as my mission that the next generation is smarter than me. It's got to be my mission to make it more smarter than I am. Okay, so that's the second thing I would definitely say. The third one is something you said. There are things that we know, but we can't get there.
Yep.
But there is a third level. Things we don't know that we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know that we don't know. So how much my ignorance is actually harming my students? How much your ignorance is hurting your kids? So I think we should all go to college or to families, groups that would, that would have a line that would teach us as parents. And we should do that for 18 years. Maybe, as the kids progress, then
as adults we never go back, right? To doing that. So
yeah,
I'm not criticizing parents because I'm not a parent, I'm not a father, but I'm an educator. I mean, I can give my opinion. Maybe people say that, yeah, but you're not a father, you don't know. Like, really? That's so. Now I'm gonna hold this grudge against you about everything you say. Everything you say, I'm gonna say you're not this. So I won't listen to your opinion.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, you're not an specialist in this.
Hey, why are you talking about religion when you're not a priest?
Yeah,
Why are you talking about
Exactly.
the government when you do not work for the government or you're not a politician?
Something like this,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so it does add layers and levels that I don't know. I don't know the thin process. I haven't spent 2-3 years not having a good sleep of night because I haven't had a kid. I understand, I understand the contagion of that, but I still can have an opinion, and then I can be educated about that. I'm in the conversation to be educated. I'm not in the conversation to win the discussion. I'm here to be convinced I'm wrong.
Right.
And with that, I think that's a wrap. I mean,
Yes.
put on the comments there. What are your thoughts about future of our kids, the next generation,
That's awesome.
AI? And I created a term of his, AI and versus or collaboration with
Yes.
HI, human intelligence.
Yes.
Right?
Good.
Oh, cool.
So let's keep that conversation going on the comments there. And thank you very much for watching.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and take a listen to us on Spotify,
Yeah.
because we're on that platform too as well.
And Dylan, we have you in our thoughts and
We
your
do.
family. And we hope to see you back to the podcast very soon.
Well said. We are
Thank-
with you.
Thank you.
We are a
Bye-bye.
community, Dylan. Take it easy, man.